This week's video, we're going to talk about some of our routines that we go through to keep us safe, as well as some of the gear and safety stuff that we have on board. And make sure and stay tuned to the end. We're going to have a question and answer period where we're going to answer several of the questions we've gotten from viewers like you that have sent in about safety and things of that nature.
Hey, Carter, is it safe to live on a boat?
Based on what you mean by safe. What do you mean by safe?
Do you think it's safe to live on a boat?
Kind of. I mean, the only problem I hate about it is when we're down below deck and we have to wear a life jacket.
Hey, Chase, do you think it's safe to live on a boat?
Yes and no. There's some unsafe parts, but most of it is safe.
Caleb, is it safe to live on a boat?
Yeah. It's surrounded by water, so if you fall off, it won't hurt.
Hey, Chris, is it safe to live on a boat?
I would say there's definitely some moments that can be scary or maybe a little dangerous, but it's all about how safe you intend to make it. The safety procedures you put in place, the safety equipment you have on board, where you're going, and really the biggest thing is your decisions. When to go, when not to go, what weather to go in. How you make decisions, I think, is the most important thing to either keep your family safe or possibly put them in harm's way.
It a little bit before, but it's part of our safety procedures and routine that we do every time. So we always have our binoculars, we leave them in the box. I have our ship's log, we can write stuff down, track our ship information, location, time of engine start, all that, weather we can just keep track of. We have two navigation systems, our Garmin on the boat and then our tablet for our navionics. We have our radio here at the upper helm, and then we also have a radio downstairs at the lower helm. We also have a handheld radio that we use if we have to leave the ship. And then we also have our Garmin in reach, which we're going to explain more about a little bit later. We always also keep our air horn with us, and then always we keep the chargers with us, and then we can charge it here at the helm using a USB port. So that way, whenever we get ready to go anywhere, we have everything we need, we have the chargers that we need. Stay safe.
This is our ditch bag. We store it right here, which is our main exit to head out to the back of the boat. So we just pull it off of here. And we always bring this up and we set it with us at the helm. That way, if there's an emergency, we simply grab that and off we go. So right now, let's go through our ditch bag and we'll show you what we have in our ditch bag. Real quick, please remember, we are not experts, and depending on where you are going and what you're planning to do, you need to pack what is appropriate for you. We feel, based on our passages, where we're planning on going, this will be sufficient for us and where we're going. Please do your own research and make sure you pack what is appropriate for you. So for starters, we've got the bag itself. This is a flotation bag. It'll hold 15 pounds of gear and keep it afloat. We got this from ACR. It's got the spot on the side for our EPIRB. And then the strap itself is designed to clip people in. So we can actually clip 3 boys together to the bag. And then inside we also have additional lines for us as well if we need to tie something else up. Hang on to one another, whatever we may need lines for. First thing is our EPIRB. This is a device that signals the local authorities. This will work anywhere in the world should we have an emergency. You either press the button and hold it for a couple seconds and it will come on, or I believe also when it hits the water, it's water activated, it will also come on. EPIRB, emergency position indicator radio beacon. So you can see right there. So what that does is that sends a signal to satellite, not to Wi-Fi, not to cell towers. Anywhere in the world this will work. It has at least I think it's a 5-year battery in there, possibly 10 off to double check. But there's nothing we need to do for this. If they're one-time use, once you use them, you definitely want to have them replaced. So the first thing you'll see in our bag is we've got our documents up here. So we've got our vessel registration or documentation. We've got copies of our birth certificates. We've got copies of our passports. Any other pertinent documentation to help ID us, our boat, who we are, that kind of stuff. Got our boat US card in here if we need to call. What else we got? Sunspray, or not sunspray, suntan lotion, sunblock. We've also got signaling flags to help us signal for help. We've got a towel for maybe blood or whatever you may need it for. We've got seasick pills. We've got some floss that we could either use for a fishing line or whatever else we may need. This is sunblock as well. And this is stuff called Highlight. What that does is you put it in your bottle of water and it's like super hydration. So you put it, I think it's just a few drops in a bottle and it helps you to stay more hydrated than just a normal bottle of water. So we've got some first aid supplies as well as a belt if we need to do a tourniquet or anything like that. There are 5 bottles of water in here. I've got flares that you shoot. So you twist these and they'll shoot up in the air. And then I've got a whole container of current flares, and I've even got some flares that are just expired just by a couple of months. I also have a pocket knife. It's a Leatherman, so a multi-tool. It's got pliers, knives, all that kind of stuff. Inside here they've got some extra pouches on the side. We've got a signaling mirror. We've got emergency, we put this on a life jacket, so it's strobe and light, 2 different kinds, to help us be visible at night. This bag for us is designed to be in the water for a short amount of time. Should something happen and we have to abandon ship, we grab it, we either get in the dinghy or we just get in the water with our life jackets. I should mention that. We also have our life jackets. We have life jackets all over the boat. We have them up here, we have them down back. The boys are always wearing theirs when we're on passage. So life jackets are huge. The other thing we have all over the boat is going to be our throwables. So if we're to jump in the water, we would grab anything that we could that could float as well. It's not going to hurt to have extra of these around you. Like I was saying though, this bag is designed to be a short term. It's not designed for me to be out at sea for a month. You notice it doesn't have anything other than food. With these EPIRBs and our Garmin InReach, which also has an EPIRB-like feature to it, a rescue feature, when we have those with us, we should be able to be rescued within several hours. With where we're cruising through the Bahamas, through the Caribbean, close to the shore in the U.S., we should be able to be rescued probably within a day to 2 days at max. So this is all we feel that we need for what we're doing.
So Chris mentioned stuff we would just grab if we had to leave the vessel. So speaking of grabbing stuff and leaving the vessel, we always have our dinghy bag with us, and it's got some stuff already in it. We always have dinghy keys, and then we have our navigation lights, red and green, for nighttime travel. If we had to leave the vessel, we'd grab the dinghy bag, we'd grab my radio, throw it in, grab my Garmin and throw it in. You mentioned the Garmin has similar features as the EPIRB. It does have an SOS system, so we can trigger that, get rescued quickly, hopefully. But it also tracks us. So we can track our passage and voyage with a link. We can send that link out to family and friends. And then it's also communication. So we can text people or email people anywhere in the world on any passage in any ocean. So we're definitely going to take this with us, throw it in our bag, take the binoculars, take another horn, binoculars, throw it in, throw it on, take the EPIRB bag, run. So we've got lots of emergency equipment available. We feel real good about our safety procedures from here on the helm. not only in an emergency that we need to leave the vessel, but if we just are leaving the boat for an afternoon hike or groceries or whatever, if we're going to go in the dinghy, we always take this bag with us with the things I just put in. I don't take the binoculars, but that way we've always got our Garmin and a radio no matter where we are. If we're hiking and we get lost or rains come or whatever, we have communication. We have signals for lights in case we get delayed on land and we need our red and green navigation lights and a horn. We just always keep that stuff with us for safety.
We also have meetings and talks with the boys all the time about different safety things. Whenever something comes up, it's a teachable moment, so we take that time to teach them. We've had this discussion with the boys about what to do in the instance of a man overboard. In fact, right now we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun with them. We also try and keep it fun so they enjoy it, but we're going to do a man overboard drill. We're going to practice by having the boys jump in. They love to jump in the water and play around. Now, we are anchored right now. We are not going anywhere. There's no crazy currents, so this is safe. Normally, when you do a man overboard drill, when you're actually moving the vessel around, you would never want to put a live person in the water. You would want to throw a throwable like an orange life jacket or one of our white pads right here in the water, and then you would practice going and rescue that. But we're going to have some fun with the boys, make it kid appropriate. All right, boys, I need everybody up on the front deck, please. Somebody falls overboard.
Yell man overboard. Yell man overboard. And whoever sees them, whoever sees them first has to keep their eyes on them and yell while keeping looking at them.
Yep.
Yell man overboard. So everybody else hears them and they know what. That's what I was gonna say.
And when you're looking at them, what do you always point to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can Chase, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the same thing,
You're the person that falls overboard.
Back away from the boat so you don't get caught by the engine.
Okay.
And also yell man overboard. And don't freak out.
Yell man overboard. And you want to yell man overboard before you hit the water, if you can. Because once you're in the water and we're moving away from you, it's tougher to see. And you said don't what?
Don't freak out.
Don't panic. That's
Don't
right.
Panic, don't freak out. Otherwise, that just make it harder.
Okay, so we're going to have some fun. We'll let you guys get in the water. So we're going to do a pretend man overboard. You'll be my victim. And then you're the spotter, and then you're going to get the throwable device, right? Okay, all right, break. All right, boys, man overboard drill. Take one.
Look, a sail! Man overboard!
Where?
Right, on the starboard side! Dad, floatable!
Here you go, bud. Get it to him.
Right here, starboard side, right here, man overboard. Chuck it at him! Get it, Chase!
Got it. All right, guys, let's go around to the back and let's go pick him up, okay?
Retrieve him.
Don't stop pointing.
Right here. You got me. Get to the ladder. Leave the light.
Chase, you're the spotter. Go to the front.
See you on the cat. Sad. Where? Whoa. Man overboard.
Where?
Starboard side. I'll get him. I have the life raft. I'll come get it. Throw it. Just
Throw it.
throw it. Perfect throw.
Chase, you kept taking your eyes off of your victim, okay? You need to watch the victim the whole time and never take your eyes off of him, okay?
Okay.
All right, good job.
Hey, look, a mermaid. Where? Man overboard.
Where?
Right there! Here! Yeah! That's it! No!
All right, Caleb, look at me.
Put that in bloopers.
Hey, Caleb, you got a point, and you need to tell me where on the boat is he falling overboard at?
What side is this?
Port side, starboard side, front? Okay.
Can
got
we
it.
put that in bloopers and try it again?
Dylan, will you take the helm? I need to run up on top and grab those lines.
Yep, you got it. Hey, Carter, Dad's going up on top. You watch out.
Okay.
You ready? Oh! Oh! Oh!
The person at the helm who hears man overboard asks where, port side, starboard side, throws the boat in neutral so that the propellers are not spinning because you don't want to run over anybody, and then we rescue. Now, we made it really fun. In all reality, while we're in passage, number one, the boys always wear their life jackets, and number two, we have other procedures about going about the boat. If a child wants to go to the front of the boat or around the gangway sides, the gullies, the side of the boats, then we make them, Carter, what do you do if you want to go to the side of the boat or the front of the boat?
You have to ask Mom or Dad.
And then what do I have to say back?
Okay, or...
I have to respond back. So Carter can't just say, I'm running up to the front. I look at Carter and I say, okay, Carter, you're going to go to the front. So we always make sure that we communicate really well, and the boys always wear life jackets in passage.
The other thing with what Julian was just mentioning is there's times where the answer is going to be no. Based on the conditions and any number of factors. There are times where we're like, look, boys, these doors and the wing doors have to be closed. You're either here or you're sitting on the back deck. I mean, we have different rules for the conditions.
Yeah.
So everything is always changing in the ocean. And just because we give a rule at the beginning of a trip doesn't mean it stays the same. We'll go through and say, hey, boys, it's calm. We're in an area. We're good. You can do whatever. And then we'll be like, okay, we're going to go out in the ocean now. It's choppy. I need everyone to be here or there or whatever.
Yep.
So they know that can change at a moment's notice. Alright guys, thanks again for watching this week's video. Right now we're going to jump into our Q&A. The first question is probably one of the most commonly asked questions we get, and that is, what about sharks? And there's one really easy way to tell if there's even sharks in the area, and all you need is a spoon. Okay, you take your spoon, you just go down, you dip it in the water, and you taste it. If it's salty, then you know there's sharks in the area. Just kidding with everybody, but not really. I mean, basically, if it's saltwater, there could be a shark in the area. We're really not too concerned about sharks. There are your aggressive breeds, and we know that. And honestly, with Chase and I being divers, we've both dove with sharks before.
And we've all gone and snorkeled and dove with nurse sharks, and we've pet them, and they're a very unaggressive breed of shark.
Yep.
And they're the most common that we've run across so far. And in fact, they don't have teeth. They don't generally want to attack or bite humans.
Yeah.
So that's the majority of sharks that you run across are not out to eat people.
From all the attacks that we've ever heard of, it's always a mistaken identity or somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, and it just happened. We had one in the Keys a couple weeks ago, total freak accident at a reef that people snorkel at very regularly. The guy basically fell backwards into the water to go snorkeling, like he just ducked off the boat, pretty much landed on top of the shark.
Scared the shark.
And I think he probably surprised him, and the shark attacked. It was a one bite and he left. I believe the gentleman did survive. Total freak accident. You could walk out of across the street and get hit by a car. So I mean, we're not gonna live our lives in fear of a total freak accident. We're gonna be cautious. We're gonna pay attention, but we're really not too concerned about sharks. If we see them feeding, are we getting in the water? No, we're probably not gonna do that. Another safety question that people ask us about is fire. What do you do if there's a fire on board? Fire on board a boat is probably the most dangerous situation.
Why is that?
Well, you're in a confined space. You're on a boat that's made of fiberglass that will burn. Fiberglass, once it gets ignited, it burns like crazy. And you could be in an area that you can't really receive much help.
Right.
So we have fire extinguishers all over the boat. I think Coast Guard regulations say we're supposed to have 3. I think we've got like 8.
I think we put 1 in each room. And then we did teach the boys how to use them.
Yeah, and we've got engine rooms. You got to remember, there's areas that are going to be more susceptible to fire than others. Engine room being one, where the electrical is, where the combustion happens. Kitchen would be another one. And we've talked to boys about different types of fires. If it's a grease fire in the kitchen, that you smother that as opposed to spray water on it. Our fire extinguishers are what they call ABC fire extinguishers, so they're good for all different types of fire.
Our next question is, how do we communicate with family and friends or emergency situations? We already went through that. We have an EPIRB, we have a Garmin InReach, and we have our radios.
We also have cell phones as well, and as we travel through different countries, we'll go ahead and get a local SIM card. So we have multiple options. So lastly, when it comes to safety, most people want to think about first aid. what happens if someone gets injured, sick, that kind of thing. So Jolie and I are both CPR trained. She's been working with kids in school for a long time and has always had to go through that training. I'm a rescue diver. I've also emergency first responder training as well. Very familiar with all the first aid situations. So basic first aid we've got covered. The other unique situation for us is we have a kid with allergies. Caleb is very allergic to fish, and so we have an EpiPen. We have multiple EpiPens. The kids, we've gone through with the boys where we store them, multiple spots, her purse and some other spots, and how to use them. And they actually come with a practice pen, and they've all practiced stabbing each other in the legs and administering an EpiPen. So that was
super soft. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Jeff, and also thank you, Linda, for our cookie cutters, the Villainous, and the Legos. Thank you all. Thank you all for taking stuff from our wish list and giving it to us. Caleb, next cookie. Bye. Next.